Hello, hello, Sojourners. Welcome to another episode. I'm so excited about the conversation that we're about to have with Sierra Melcher. She is an international author and speaker and thought leader. She just dropped her book. I'm so excited to have her here. Sierra, who are you? What are you up to in the world? Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll just dive into this conversation.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for having me here. It's great to be here with you and with your audience. Oh gosh, the simplest question is always the hardest to answer. Who am I? A couple of little nuggets that is not the full extent of who I am. I am a women's circle holder. I am a supporter of women and men discovering who they are and what this is all about and figuring out, I call it attuning to your inner authority. Because the root of the word authority is actually author. And so it's really that each one of us is writing our own lives, whether we know it or not. And when we can tune into that, we can really create lives that match us, that are aligned, that are fulfilling. And we can see the role that we play in creating our reality rather than having it be something that happens to us or all the pickles we can get stuck into. I've just published my book, as you said, and it's my absolute joy and honor to join you and support anyone on their personal journey. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so Sierra and I were just sitting and talking. We're going to record this podcast. We're in the middle of Corona 2020, the pandemic, the worldwide uncertainty and just kind of upset that has happened for everyone. And I'm in the center of the United States. Sierra, where are you?
I am in Medellin, Colombia, in South America.
Okay, so very different.
Very different. We're in a nationwide lockdown for more than 20 days. So
we're in these two very different stages of this, and we were sitting and we're like, well, what are we gonna jam out about today for the podcast? And I like to think evergreen. I like to think something that you guys are gonna want to listen to, a year from now. And we came to this conclusion that this is something that we need to be talking about. Not the coronavirus, but us inside of the coronavirus. You're 20 days into lockdown. How are we handling uncertainty? How are we handling, a world that is changing so rapidly? This is happening so fast that it's how are we handling the stress and the pressure of the external world being so uncertain, but then having this, you're blessed with having a safe space you're in. I'm in this safe space. We're able to work from home and having that understanding, but also how are we keeping ourselves sane inside of this? Because when I look outside, there's no one. It's dead. My favorite restaurants are closed. My normal sense of routine and life and going to Trader Joe's just to go to Trader Joe's and have free little tiny coffee. That's not happening. Just, my normal getting out of the house, doing things when I get stir crazy aren't there.
Yeah.
And so we thought, heck, why not just have this conversation? We're all in this right now, but a year from now, when you're facing something that's uncertain or your life is kind of turned upside down or, you have that something that takes you off, off guard, how can you handle that? So Sierra, just give a little bit about, for everyone, just like you said, you're 20 days into lockdown. How is that feeling for you? And how are you handling the uncertainty that's happening right now?
I think going back to authorship, the actual words that we use to name our experience create our experience. And just to have that subtle awareness of what we're saying and thinking, but also what it is that we're allowing ourselves to be told what we're listening to consciously, we're getting all this information, but if we're not consciously filtering it, then we're just, our internal messaging and the words that we're using are going to match the external. And to use the metaphor, it's important to have sort of an immune response to stuff that doesn't feel good. If it's infecting your ideas and your heart and your sense of wellness and your ability to be grateful, then it's not good for you. The ideas, as much as anything else, the words, it is possible to totally get swept up and lost in the rhetoric of what's going on as much as the actual experience. And so I elected actually to pull my daughter out of school early before the city and the country made those choices. I started to sense something and said, I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna keep myself safe. So I've been in this for a while, and later in a minute, I do want to talk about like things that we can do to really create such an incredible, great sense in this time. But I think starting with how we're thinking about and speaking about our experience. Like you said, I'm full on in national lockdown. I could go to a grocery store and get some food, and there's a few stores that have limited hours. There's plenty of stuff, but we're like really just supposed to stay home. And I haven't left the house since last Tuesday. So we're talking like 10 days. And I have a tiny little apartment and a tiny little child. But my framing of this experience has been, it's a gift. This is an opportunity. It is a really unfortunately packaged opportunity,
right?
But it's still an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And uncertainty, I think, is a really important word. And I heard you say it a couple of times. There's always uncertainty. It is part of life. It is part of business. It's part of raising a family. It's part of just breathing. What's happened is that there's a global common uncertainty. And so we're all tuned into the same one uncertainty. Whereas a month ago, 3 months ago, we all had different uncertainties. And so my uncertainty was my sensitive point and your uncertainty was your sensitive point. Now we're all thinking about the same thing. And so it feels different. But my goodness, there was uncertainty 4 months ago. And like you said, there's going to be uncertainty in a year and 10 years, everything. It's part of the natural expression of existence. And as humans, we like to minimize uncertainty. We really like to think that we're in control.
Oh yeah.
The plan and structure and to like
schedule.
Dominate the external world so that we don't have to be uncertain.
Yeah, well, because what I'm seeing and what I'm witnessing is, like you said, it's like this global, it's like we've all just had our feet put to the fire at the same time. Yeah. And some people are handling it and some people are like, I don't know how to handle it, but I want to handle it. And some people are just like losing it. So there's this like gradient of experience.
Absolutely.
And of course that comes with like, there are people who are losing their jobs. Yep. There are people who are being, like quarantined with family members who maybe are not the most healthy, emotionally healthy, like abusive. Like we're talking about like putting everyone inside of a pressure cooker of their own choices.
Yeah.
And that sucks. I mean, not just like it can really suck, but like on a global scale that we've had to be put in it. That's what I'm saying. Sucks. Not necessarily the pressure cooker, but the fact that like without choice, we've all had to like go into this low space. But like you said, it can also be an opportunity. It can be an opportunity to see things clearly, to see ourselves clearly, to create something different. If you don't like the pressure cooker you've been put in.
Right. Yeah. If you don't like the life you've built because you just had 30 days straight of, like you said, the result of all your choices. This is a huge, it is an opportunity. It is an opportunity for wild discomfort.
Yeah.
But discomfort is information. It is guidance. If you are uncomfortable, why? How? What were the choices that got you there? What are the options to have it be different later? What can you do even right now to make it different?
Exactly. And like, there's a lot of coaches out there right now and thought leaders and people who are like feeling a little uppity at like, I have the answers. I have it all together. I made better choices. So I'm here in this place. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to feel that. I had my feet put to the fire 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I had to look at the decisions that I had made. And it was like a really, really yucky, ugly time. And I know exactly what a lot of you like are going through right now, because I just went through it 2 years ago and then a year ago. And then about 6 months ago, that I've been put in these, like, I've been put in these pressure cookers of like, holy junk, I have to look at this.
Yeah.
Like, I literally can't not face myself anymore. And I'm so grateful. Like, I have been coming to tears with gratitude for what I have walked through so that I could be here.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband and I work from home. This is not that big of a difference for us to step into social distancing. And
like a regular Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. This is a regular Wednesday for me, except for I can't go to my favorite coffee shop. Like, that's the only difference. Like, there's really not that big of a difference between my life before coronavirus and my life now. I'm taking some more precautions and you know, like, obviously being wise about who I spend time, you know, like that kind of stuff. And I don't want to sit here and downplay like I said, like the metaphor I've been using is the pressure cookers that you're in.
Yeah.
The pressure cooker that someone else is in. Because while we're in this global situation, we're all in a different container.
Yeah.
And so I love what you said about creating some like immune response to what we're taking in. And quite honestly, like when you said that, I was like, someone asked me if Oklahoma City had been put on like shelter in place orders. And I was like, I have no idea, because I don't watch the news.
And because you're not waiting for someone to tell you how to live your life. You made your choice for you based on what felt like you're working from that center place, instead of, we're taught through all of our growing up, through schooling, look at the external, follow the expert, somebody else is going to tell you how to live your life. And what I've been working with everyone, with myself and everyone that I come in contact with, is to flip that script, because there is information, there's guidance, there's clarity from within. Most of us have been stuffing it, hiding from it, blocking it, resisting it, ignoring it. You know, there's all these invitations. Oh, pay attention to your health, or this is uncomfortable. And you're like, shh, no, I need to,
Netflix.
You know, we ignore, right, Netflix, or I've got to do this, or I've got to work a little bit harder. And when I have time, I'll get to it. Guess what? We got time.
All of a sudden, we all have a lot of time.
You know, and we've been waiting. I'm seeing this globally in different places are waiting for their governments to tell them how to take care of themselves, and or then not even listening to their government because they've, you know, wiped across. They're like, I don't even trust that external authority. But when it comes down to it, is your life is your own. Your choices are your own. And it's not even a positive and negative. That's a judgment of things. It's just like, this is every single moment we have choice. We have so much choice.
Well,
and 6
And
months ago, the major complaint was, oh, I could do anything. I could go anywhere. I could be anyone. And when we have so much choice, there's a paralysis there too of like, the world's my oyster, but I don't know what to choose. And now we have limited choice, and we're rebelling against that too. But there's still choice. There's choice in our thoughts. There's choice in how we structure our days, who we interact with to like nourish or detract from our wellness, you know?
Yeah, and I love that you have said inner authority a few times, and it's a human design term. And I am actually going to be doing a live human design reading in a little bit, and going back to our intuition. And we all have our own natural intuition, whether you use human design to tap into that or you use your own sense of guidance. And there's lots of ways to tap into your own intuition. I love and trust human design. That's what I use. That's what I use with my clients. But we all have this natural sense of intuition. But so often we've been trained, we've been conditioned away from that. And all of the things that you have thought that you aren't who you are. And all the things you've been hiding from and not wanting to look at is who you are. And when you're able to really see yourself clearly and trust yourself, then the decisions to make these choices that become our lives become so much easier.
Yeah, so clear.
And it's not easy. Like, it's not easy, but it can be a lot easier.
It's not easy, but it's clear, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Even when
lots of struggle, so much clarity.
Yeah. And even when really hard situations come up, I had a situation that came up in the end of February with a confrontation situation. And long story short, I didn't want to deal with it, but circumstances allowed that it was a space for me to step up and do something that I knew I needed to do, have a conversation I knew I needed to have, and practice being true to my inner authority, my guidance, as well as practicing staying grounded in all of these truths that I teach people. Like, it's like, stay grounded, stay centered, stay in love and light and acceptance and understanding and empathy and all of the things.
No, I don't want to. I want to be avoiding things.
Right? I don't want to look at this. And it's like, oh, yeah, I now have a chance to practice what I preach.
Yep.
And though it was like not easy, like you said, it's not easy, but it was clear what I needed to do.
Yeah. And when you do that thing, that hard, awful, awkward discomfort, it's like, once it's done, there's all this space. We think about how much energy it takes to not do the thing, right? So much energy. If you are tired, if you are drained, it's because you're probably spending a lot of energy resisting or avoiding something that you need to do.
The thing under the thing. I work with my clients with this all the time. Whenever we have a thing, we've got a thing. I feel so, whatever it is, I feel so anxious and pent up. And it's like, and then you find a thing to like hold on to. And it's my husband's fault because he keeps leaving his socks on the floor. And like, that's a thing.
Sure, but it's not the thing.
What's the thing under the thing? Because there is a thing underneath that. You get down to it and it's like, oh, I really should be in my journal. I really should be spending time with myself. I'm anxious and disconnected. And the thing is, you aren't tapped into you. You're disconnected from you. You have a feeling underneath all of that that needs to be addressed, and you don't want to look at it.
And my favorite part about that is that when we're feeling, it's always about something external, and it's usually something that we can't control.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make your husband change where he puts his socks. You cannot, which is why it feels sort of like this delicious hopelessness, right? Like, it's terrible, but I can't actually change it. So I get to just stay stuck.
Mm-hmm.
but then when you get, like you said, when you get to the thing at the bottom, it's something you can do something about, which is both amazing because then you have this capacity, but then you also have the responsibility to do what you can do, your part. And there's some resistance and some struggle about that. Like, I'd rather just be pissed at someone than show up for myself every day.
Well, and that's the thing. I'd rather hang on and put all of my energy over here into anger and like frustration. And like, I'd rather spend my energy here than actually like pivot and look at the thing that I know. It's almost like the way I explained it, I had my coach just call me out on something a couple days ago, and I don't even remember what it is because I went.
That's what coaches are for, right?
Right. I went and I dealt with it, and I was like, oh yeah, there it is. But it was like, it was like right in my periphery, but like right outside of it. Like I couldn't quite see it, but I knew it was there. It's like when you feel someone watching you and you're like, I kept looking over my shoulder. I'm like, there's definitely something there. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's the thing under the thing.
Yeah.
I need to like look at it and deal with it. And so now we're all in these pressure cookers of the thing, which is coronavirus.
Right.
But
it's not about the coronavirus, right?
It's about you inside of this container, inside of the coronavirus. Like we've all been put inside Tupperware, inside of our fridge that is our life.
Yeah.
And we're like looking around like, oh, wait. Who bought all of this stuff? What's going on here? What's going on in here? But so I love getting really actionable. That's just my thing. Tools and tricks and stuff. So we've got the thing inside of the thing. How are you feeling right now? Just as you are right now, what are your feelings?
I'm a little tired. And yesterday had a massive headache, which is just, again, my viewpoint is any discomfort is an invitation. It's like, why do I have a headache? Oh, well, I wasn't eating well or drinking enough water yesterday. And I know for a fact because I was awake all night with a headache. So here I am drinking water. And if we look at the discomfort as a nudge towards, it's like a guardrail, right? We're on this road and every discomfort, every pain, we're bumping it up against a warning. But a lot of us are just like, no, I want to drive off that cliff. I just want to, screw you, guardrail. You're in my way. I want to like keep going.
Pop a couple Advil, turn Netflix on. Don't care that it's 1 a.m. It's
just going to keep on going, right? So I'm aware that I'm a little tired, so I'm going to rest, right? Like reasonable response. I'm going to drink some water, but in general, I feel so blessed. My daughter's 4, she turns 5 this week. She told me 2 days ago, she said, Mommy, I never want the quarantine to end. And I said, why? She's like, because I want every day to be a mommy day. And anytime I'm like, I'd really like to fill in the blank, I've got mommy days, right? And that's one of the gifts is this really amazing time that she's going to remember forever. I'm going to remember forever. This is going to be a month or 3 months of precious connection time. It is giving me all sorts of opportunity to reflect. What am I working on? What am I proud of? Where was I not in alignment? And how can I get more in alignment? And I'm getting to everything, right? Just those words, I get to.
Yeah.
Think about what you get to do. Yes, there's all sorts of things you're not getting to do, and you can pour your attention into itemizing that list. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel jubilant and energized, or does it make you feel like poo? Because if it doesn't make you feel good, why are you continuing to do it? And so it's a mindset shift. And for folks who are used to being in control and, forcing their outside environment to accommodate these sort of undealt with inside environment, this is really going to be hard because we're not in control of the outside environment. But this is one massive invitation to work on the inside environment. And when the inside environment is sort of tidied up, we're clear, and then we can respond to the external with clarity, not ease always, but it's not easy, but clarity is ease, right?
Yeah.
I know what I need to do. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Stuck is, I don't know what I need to do. I don't know how to do it. Well, the I don't knows, but I know what I need to do. And so in terms of tools, can we go to tools?
Yeah. I was just checking in, like if you're inside of this right now, like, what are you feeling inside of it? And I love that you brought up gratitude. And for the Soul Journey listeners, if you haven't yet, go back and listen to Victoria Welsh. I think she's like the 3rd or 4th episode on gratitude, and how gratitude can just shift everything. And while there is a lot right now, like Sierra said, like you could be focusing on like, okay, I did, like, it's worst of the worst. Like I did lose my job. What can you create in this time? Yeah. I mean, we have access to tools now that, are unparalleled. I mean, we're having a conversation. This conversation is going to go on the internet. Hundreds of thousands of people could tune into it. We can touch anyone at any time and be connected. So what are you going to create inside of this? And that gratitude is the shift. I'm so thankful I get to be at home with my daughter. You know what I mean? Like, even though some people right now are like, I am so
right. I'm home with my daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here. When is school going to start? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Every experience has both. Every experience has absolutely both. I could look at the struggle, and I could look at the disappointment, and I could look at the loss, and I could look at what is always.
Being willing to see. That is something that this is something I can speak to. Being literally so stubborn that I'm unwilling to like see the good. Right. Like I'm like,
this is bad. I'm going to make sure that it stays that way.
Yep. No, there is nothing good inside of this.
Right.
Like, I have had to sit myself down like a 5-year-old. Yeah. You are going to find something to be grateful for.
And you can't get up out of that chair until you're grateful. Yep.
Fine. So, 2 hours later, I'm still like.
Yeah. 2 years later. Yeah.
Right.
Adults are even more stubborn than 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds are like, okay, I'm hungry. I want my cookie now.
Yeah. They're like, I'm grateful for X. Right. But if you can find something to be grateful for, you can recreate your entire life, because that one gratitude, I'm like, look at this device that I have. I have talked to my family, FaceTimed. I've seen my family across the country multiple times in the last couple of weeks, because I have, I've got this device. Like, can I be grateful for that one thing?
This container has forced all of us to re-examine our values and our priorities. What's important? Are you doing on a regular basis the things that are really important?
Yeah.
Or are you waiting for later to do them, when we have time, or, when, da-da-da-da-da.
You got all the time. So let's do tools. So what are you doing right now to stay grounded, centered, grateful, present?
Yep. Well, there's 2 questions. There's the tools that I recommend, and there's the tools that I practice.
Let's do the ones that we're practicing. Like, I think, let's talk about the one, like you said, you're drinking water. Like, that is a good tool.
Grounding. It is so grounding. Definitely. So some tools. I took a shower. I got dressed like I'm going out of the house. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you are home all day, it is easy to stay in your pajamas and to not dress yourself. And that changes your whole approach. You're going to approach your whole life from like pajama mode. And it
even
matters.
put a shirt on.
Yeah.
Yesterday I still had leggings on, but I put a nice top on.
But that it awakens us a little bit it sets the tone, right? get ready to go on a date with yourself into your living room, take yourself on an adventure into the closet that has all that stuff in it that you haven't looked at forever. Like, read a book, go somewhere within yourself, but get dressed up for that journey.
Yeah.
You
And
mentioned earlier journaling is
because
precious.
the thing about it too is we have these two camps of people, right? Like, you and I are this camp of people that already work from home, the people who can work from home. And then there's the crew of people who have been handed this huge chunk of time they can't work, or they have lost their jobs, or like whatever has happened. And the tools and apply the same to both. Get up, get dressed, put on clothes,
drink some water,
have some structure inside of your day.
Exactly. And this is so, I have a chalkboard painted refrigerator. And so my daughter and I charted out her schedule, because we need a schedule. Otherwise time just sort of oozes, right? And the way that one of the things that makes us feel in control or safe is structure.
Mm-hmm.
When we have structure, we want to push against it. But when we don't have structure, we don't feel safe. So even if it's get dressed, 20 minutes of something towards whatever your thing is. If it's a job, if you want to be like looking for work, look for work. If you want to reconnect with someone, make a phone call. People need this connection. We are social creatures, but if you had like 3 things in your day that you knew elevated you and were working towards something, you said earlier that I published my book this week, that sense of accomplishment, working towards something, creating something, right? If you have a yard, rake the leaves. I don't know, like do something.
Like looking at my yard. Someone come over and rake my leaves. We
can
stay socially distanced.
Go to Amber's house and rake leaves, right? So there's I can't, again, tell each person what's important on their list, but I can say, choose 3 things. They can be 20 minutes, they can be an hour, but make sure you're doing those things every day.
Create what's important.
Structure. And you can feel like at the end of the day, I did something, I accomplished something. I know that today is Thursday, because in a minute, we're going to be like, I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is, because I don't have to be anywhere. We sort of lose sense of time. And when we do that, you could just watch Netflix for 3 days and not know, but you're not going to feel good. So,
right. Alert. When the thing pops up and says, hey, are you still watching?
That means get hell off the computer.
Get up off the computer, up off the couch, go for a walk. So for me, just something that I've been really tapping into is pretty much no matter where you are, you can still go outside. I know that Italy is in like strict lockdown. Like, you can't go for walks and stuff anymore. And I know there are a couple of places, but where I am, I'm in Oklahoma City. There is a lot of like space between us. So, and we haven't been put on lockdown orders yet, which is very interesting, because most of the city seems pretty much like self shut down, which is interesting. But go on a walk.
Yeah.
Get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Go outside, even if it's just sitting on your porch, like go for a walk, get some fresh air. The other thing for me is connect with people. Yeah. I get to connect with people all day long. So there's all of these like little pop-up groups coming up, and I'm like peopled out by the end of the day, but a lot of people don't have that. Yeah. Like, look at this. We're having this conversation. I'm getting to connect with you. I get to talk to my clients, today. I also am going to be hosting tonight a mindset reset, like meditation, like situation. And so like connect with people, even if it's just half an hour of like, hey,
the world. Yeah. I called some folks that I had lost touch with and left like a 20-second voice note. And I heard back from every single one of them within 5 minutes. And they said, oh my God, hearing your voice, I it meant the world to me. And then we had a call, right?
Yeah.
We don't
So,
realize how important that is.
so inside of this, the other thing for me is just staying really grounded, because everything is happening. It's all happening so fast. We're getting bombarded with a lot of messages, a lot of messaging, a lot, like, social media is not like, it's like, if you are able to curate it and put your blinders on, like, go for it. But like, it may not be the safest place to be.
It's
right
like a gauntlet. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but staying really grounded, physically moving our bodies, taking care of our health, like, eat some like vegetables today. I just recommend it. Like, have a vegetable, like, just go eat a carrot, do something.
Right. Fruit or vegetable, if it were growing ever.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And that's all great inside of coronavirus, but how do we take care of uncertainty outside of this situation? Because that's what I'm telling people, is this is going to end. I am like going to be planning my honeymoon to Hawaii in October still. Like, we're still planning. Like, I'm hoping that I don't have to like cancel it or do anything about it, but we're planning, like, we're going to Hawaii in October. Maybe we'll just quarantine there. I don't know. I hope this isn't still going on. But uncertainty is still going to come around the corner when this is all over, and it will be over. So how do we handle uncertainty in our day-to-day lives with tools and tricks and mindset?
One thing I wanted to add to the list of like things to do now, and it'll help to answer your current question as well. I love this device. I love the capacity to connect. I need every day to disconnect.
Shut it down.
Disconnect from the internet to connect with myself. When I'm here, I'm connecting with the world. But yesterday, I got peopled out. I got maxed out. I sat on my balcony. I had a beer, which I almost never do. All of a sudden, like, Corona makes me
Corona. Like, Corona.
And in the 45 minutes that I sat there, it was like I was having a conversation with myself. Right?
So good.
And I needed to know who I was and what I needed. And the 3 questions I've been asking my clients and my people are, what do you need that you can do for yourself? What do you need that you can ask for help and support with? And what can you offer? Because if we think that we're like at the bottom of a pit and we're not asking any of those questions. We're right. I have no ability. I can't take care of myself. No, you do. You still have things that you can do for yourself. You still have people that you can ask support. Give me a call. Tell me to breathe. Tell me to get off the couch, and then no matter where we are, you can still be at the bottom of what you think is a pit and have something to offer. And when we have that sense that we can provide for others, it totally changes how we feel with ourselves. And so coming back to those 3 questions all the time, what do I need that I can do for myself? What can I ask for help with? And what can I offer? Is really so helpful.
I love that. I did the same thing yesterday. I reached out to a couple of people, and I taught a friend of mine how to voice message. She was like, I've never done this before. Like I'm going to practice with you. Like a couple of weird, like little, like short messages that like didn't send. She's like, I don't know if you're getting these. Like, it was like so great, but we just connected, and it was just like, she was like, thank you so much for checking in on me. And I'm like, thanks for like getting back to me and having a conversation and like being.
This is mutually beneficial, right?
Exactly. Be a human being.
Yeah. Still.
Back into our humanness and our need for one another.
And maybe you've heard this expression, all of us have become human doings. And this is like, be the human being, be right now. And so uncertainty is about the future.
Yes.
Always. It's always about the future. And I don't know about you, but I'm not psychic. I don't know the future. And uncertainty really turns my present into a fear fest.
Yeah.
But the present, and this comes back to gratitude too, the present is delicious. Even in my worst heartbreak, the present was delicious. It was full of feelings and expression and struggle. And if you can stay in that present, there's so much richness in there. And when your present is terrifying and it's full of struggle, that's a great time to ask for help. Ask for somebody to like join your journey.
Yeah.
But stay in the present, because uncertainty, I'm sorry, we're living, it's built in, guaranteed. There are going to be, there's at least 30 more massive and unexpected uncertainties in every one of our lives. And I don't mean to be freaking us out about that. I want us to calm into the uncertainty. It's guaranteed. Uncertainty is guaranteed,
right?
Which, I promise.
And I love what you said. I have taught on this inside of my yoga teaching and inside of like just how I feel about this present future situation is just really when we're living in the future, when we're allowing ourselves to live in the future, we are going to be feeling the feelings of anxiety, fear, doubt, like overwhelm, and you physically feel the feelings of anxiety, fear, and overwhelm.
Right. And we bring that into our present, right?
Right now, this is what I'm living in.
Manifesting that truth.
Yeah. And then when we live in the past and we're living constantly in like, I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda. Resentment, guilt, shame, and that just feels, but when we live right now, we know what we need to do for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like when we live right now, we can't help but face the things that are happening right now.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Like if I'm living in the future, it's so easy for me to ignore the junk that's coming up right now.
Yeah, no, there's no room for the present in either of those places. And this goes back to what we were saying earlier of what we're capable of and what we're responsible for is in the present. And if we're in here or there, then we're disempowering ourselves because we are shutting down the present. And it's fascinating to feel the difference of those times, right? The future doesn't exist except in here.
Yeah, I'm in the future right now, and right now, right. And right now.
Right. Well, yeah, but and the future is the now.
Yeah, right.
And we have no control over the future, and we know that, and that's why we panic. But
exactly.
We have so much control over the present, and we don't use it for the most part, right? And so the tools that we were talking about and how to stay grounded, that's staying in the present. Drink water. It gets you into your body. Breathe.
Right? Just sit down and breathe. Like I am all for meditation, and the way that I teach meditation is sit down, close your eyes, set a timer for a minute. Close your eyes and breathe. For 1 minute, just feel your physical body.
And that's all you have to do. That's
it.
That's
you just
goal.
learned how to meditate.
Yeah. Right.
In like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So like getting into our physical body for me is the difference between being disconnected and being grounded.
Right.
When I'm like up here in my head and I'm trying to make decisions from these centers and I'm concerned about what's going to happen and how it's going to go, I'm not here. Yeah. But when I get here, when I get into my physical body, I get back to right now, this second, this moment.
And that breath, it's the only we can't control our heart rate. We can't, with our mind, change our hormone levels, but we can control our breath. We can intentionally, it's the only sort of natural body function that our brain has influence over. I can't tell my kidneys to do whatever.
Right.
But I can fluctuate my breath, which then automatically changes my thought patterns. It changes my heart rate. It changes my hormone levels. My cortisol is going to go down. My oxytocin can go up. My stress hormones go down. I can feel better. and it's
Yeah.
physiologically better. It's not just in my head.
Yeah. So I ask everybody who is on the podcast to come up with a positive affirmation from just what we've been talking about. So I meant to tell you before we started recording.
That's all right. I like the spontaneity.
Right?
There's something coming, but I'm not sure how well it fits.
Go for it.
I am capable.
Good stuff. I am capable. Easy.
Yeah.
We all have so much power over right now. So I love it. I have loved talking with you. I want to know, where can we find you on the internet?
Yes.
What are you up to in the world? Tell us the name of your book and where to buy it, and all of the things, all of the good juicy stuff.
All the things. So, I'm really excited about having a book out. It feels like a graduation of sorts.
Yes.
Like I just gave birth to a baby and I can like show it around to everybody. The book is called How Change Really Happens, Unexpected Tools of Transformation. And it is full of support now more than ever. And I trust that it will also be full of support into the future, because change is part of it, right? Like that's just what we do. It's available on Amazon. It's on Kindle. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and you can get the paperback delivered to your house in 2 to 3 days, which is super exciting. I am on Twitter, Women Integral. I'm on Instagram, sort of, Integral Women Mentoring, and Facebook is my most active space, Sierra Melcher, Melcher. And I have a group that I share into regularly. I offer all sorts of support. I encourage women to join that. You can just find me on Facebook and friend me or ask to join my group, and I will let you on in.
Yeah, and all of these links, you guys will get these links in the show notes. So just hit like, hit like see more, and the links will pop up.
Cool. I'm holding virtual women's circles. I've been holding them in person and online for years, but opening up a few new ones now. These are weekly connection spaces where we really connect with ourselves in the context and in the community of other women doing the same thing. Yeah. It's a very grounding practice. It's attuning to the inner authority. It's sort of clearing out all of the resistance and clutter that's been blocking our communication with ourselves, and it's processing everything that's happening anyway in the world, in addition to what's happening in the current space. So there's some opening spaces for that, and I do a lot of one-on-one support for people navigating their path.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to invite anyone in who maybe hasn't felt very grounded or centered. I just launched the Soul Journer Collective. And so if you want more information on that, please reach out to me. It is a place for soulful support and to tap into our physical bodies to come back to the present. Think women's wellness, girls' night out, and like spa day all in one. Like, but delicious. Online, socially distanced girls' night and spa days. But there's 12 spaces available. There's 10 spaces now. There's a couple that have been taken already. And the first 5 women who get in get a human design reading with me and a special bonus self-care intuitive reading with Joy Schultz, which is amazing and so fun, so needed right now. So if you want information on that, let me know. Reach out to me. You know where to find me. And if you want to jump into a women's circle, you want to get Sierra's book, reach out to her, connect with her, be a human on the internet, like send her a voice message and say, hey, I saw your video or I heard your podcast. Have a conversation. We are here for it. All of my love to you guys. Can you tell us our positive affirmation again?
I am capable.
Hell yeah, we are. All righty, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.